proposed guideline is going to be that these television spots, they have to have a carrier associated with whatever benefits are coming across on that television advertisement piece. On that spot, they have to say, I never list carriers' names, just because I don't want to endorse nor non-endorse people that aren't mentioned. But you can have Plan X. Per Plan X, this is what's available in your county. Per Plan Z, this is what's available in your county. Look at these benefits whatsoever. So, are the carriers really going to want to be associated with these folks? I mean, first of all, everything's got to be CMS approved, which is generally 45 days. Any amendments, they got to go back in. Boom, another 45 days. Marketers may not want to do this, number one, because you don't even have enough time, because you don't know the Medicare guidelines until the end of September or the end of August, but you don't know the plan's benefits until mid-September. So they're not going to have the time to go ahead and piece this together, and CMS has a 45-day wait period, right? Okay. The carriers might not want to be associated with these marketers just because, hey, we'll do our own advertising, thank you very much. We don't want to get in trouble with the federal government, with CMS, anything. So, therefore, thanks but no thanks. This is very good news if it comes to fruition for, John and Jane Q Public. Because, number one, it's going to limit the spots. It's going to limit the how much of a nuisance these television spots are. It's going to limit the confusion. And it's going to give you the opportunity to say, hey, guess what? I'm getting back to basics. I'm staying local. I'm staying with who I know. I'm staying with someone that knows my immediate network. My network here in Maricopa County, here in Pima County, here in Philadelphia County, here in Bucks County, Montgomery County, here in any county in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Relationship is where it's at. Number two, on these Medicare guidelines, these CMS guidelines for these marketers on TV spots. You know how they have the disclaimers? And they flash on and it's about a heartbeat and a half, and then they come down. First of all, they're not government-sponsored plans. These Joe Namath commercials and J.J. Walker commercials, Billy Shatner got involved in it. But they come up for a second. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, anyone with common sense knows that these disclaimers aren't read, number one. I mean, you can sign a contract sitting at a car dealership in the F&I box, and, no one's even reading that kind of stuff. I mean, it just doesn't happen. No one's reading those disclaimers, number one, because they flash, boom, 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 and they're gone. But also, they're in like size 5 font. So depending on the size of your television set, it's going to determine how clear you can make out that disclaimer. And if it's on for a second and a half, guess what? Nobody's reading it. You're picking up a phone because the phone number is this big. The disclaimer is this big. So that has to stay up, and it's got to be size, I believe it's 14 font is what they're calling for. Also, they need to be read. And they need to be read at the speed of whoever is endorsing this marketing piece, like a Joe Namath, the same tempo and volume as he is giving you all the shiny objects breakdowns. The same exact way that the disclaimer needs to be read. Okay? That's protection for the Medicare beneficiary, and that's really good news. So I'm glad to see that. I mean, I'm hoping that these, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but these guidelines and a few other ones are really protecting the public, because what you're doing away is you're going to clamp down on these boiler room call centers. There's some good call centers out there, there really is. But the lines portion of the call centers, the big guys who are just out there, just sign, giving bonuses to phone agents. We need this many applications this day, this week, or this month, and you're going to get a bonus. So everything's financially driven, which obviously is going to take away from any kind of customer service if you get that kind of a person sitting in that seat on that phone speaking with someone like you. It can't be financially driven. Not this industry. You want to sell something, go sell a house. You want to sell something, go sell a car. Get out of my beloved industry, please. It's not because you're taking business away from me, because eventually I come by and I come in behind you and I clean up your mess anyway, like a lot of good brokers do. I don't want people that we're trying to help, that we vow to help, ever to have a hardship due to deceit and due to gluttony and due to just, your priorities being shifted. If you're hearing this and you're one of these people, why don't you look at yourself? I mean this in all sincerity. I don't even mean to go off on this tangent, but this is just how strong I feel about it. Get out of our beloved industry. Leave these people alone. We were brought up to respect our elders. All right, I'm off of that. Okay, so anyhow, so that's good news. The second thing I want to talk about real quick is Social Security disability insurance. Some people believe that it's almost like an automatic deal, and it's not. Social Security disability insurance, specific to the state, can be more difficult than another. Social Security disability insurance, for those that don't know, is people with qualifying disabilities who cannot work and need to rely on the federal government for income if you paid into Social Security as a tax-paying citizen. Okay, you have to qualify there too. With that, besides a disability, you need to qualify financially as well. Did you pay into the system? That's going to determine something too when you get in front of a Social Security disability judge. Anyhow, who qualifies for Social Security disability? Well, it depends on your disability or handicap. That's determined by what you have to present to Social Security as far as stating your case that you cannot work. This disability basically limits, your function to do, any kind of activities in the daily day of a workplace, a specific workplace that you had, a career in that, for whatever reason, this certain disability absolutely limits your abilities to perform, therefore provide. So what you want to do is you want to gather up as much documentation from every doctor visit, every doctor's notes, every prescriptions that you're taking, state your personal claim as far as how personally you are limited from just really living life. Talking about activities of daily living, that's a big one. So you have that, right? And who can qualify outside of physically or mentally? Those are qualifying guidelines. Well, anyone between the age of 18 and 64. Because at 65, Social Security disability goes away. But anyone between the ages of 18 and 64. Okay?